at the need for a level of intensity to drive a desired result in our endeavors. So, we will be looking at what I tag moving with intensity. Moving with intensity. We'll be considering the importance of the burning within that can help drive an unusual result. So, I want you to guess who we have with me this day. Maybe it's the person you are thinking about. But then, I want to announce to you that I have with me here fire on two legs. The Lord's Apostle is the president of Lamb Lion Ministries International. A man of fire, a man of massive impact, and by the grace of God, I've been able to also have a taste of the flow of the divine life from him. And honestly, I can tell you that a minute encounter with him will lead to a serious burning within your heart. And so, he's not any other person than Apostle Samson Paul Adeniran. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, man of God. Thank you. I'm most delighted to be here.
Awesome. Great servant of God. We are so delighted to have you here. And then we know that quite a number of people have this in their mind, especially, am I going to fulfill my destiny? I have so much plans. The Lord has showed me so many visions. My prophet already informed me about the plans of God for me. Apart from what I've heard from my prophet, I have seen dreams. Like, I have great dreams, beautiful plans. But I just discovered that within a short time, the same burning vision within my heart suddenly turned out to be nothing to me. And then I'm finding it difficult to really do anything meaningful. This is the cry in the heart of so many people. And of course, being human, I know that in a way, you must have been in a position like that where you know this is what God wants you to do. This is the desire of God. But then you just discover in a way that you are not really moving as you expect to move. At times like this, what are the necessary steps? What are the possible moves or action that you embark on to really keep yourself going?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Man of God.
You're welcome, sir.
Once again, I'm delighted to be here, and I welcome all our audience again. So the question of, you have a vision, God has spoken to you, you've received revelation, you have a mandate from God to fulfill. How do you bring them forth? How do you bet them? Okay, the first thing I will say is stay connected to God. Stay connected to your source. The source. You must understand that which becomes a vision, a burden in your heart, has a place it's coming from. And when it's disconnected from that place, it will not be able to find expression. You won't be able to bet it the moment you disconnect from the source. And let me explain what I mean. Number one, connecting the source is connecting to God.
Wow.
Number two, staying connected to what you were doing that bets that vision. Because for instance, when we say stay connected to God, there is an atmosphere you wear when that vision comes to you. Wow. When you come out of that atmosphere, you've come out of the vision. You may still be going to church, you may still be praying, you may still be doing every other thing, but the atmosphere that bets that vision will require that you sustain that atmosphere for the vision to find expression in you. So the first thing I will say is that you stay connected to God. Number two thing I will say is be in the right environment. You have to be in the right atmosphere. You have to be in the midst of the right set of people. There is the caliber of people required for you to start what God has given to you. To be able to bet what God has placed inside of you. You need people that believe you. No matter what you are doing, they accept your mistakes and they believe in what God has placed in your heart, and they are happy seeing you doing something. They are happy seeing you betting what God has put in your heart. So you need to be under the right atmosphere, be with the right people to bring forth what God has given to you.
Wow. What the response to that? Apostle, you are simply telling us that every vision should proceed from God.
Yes.
And then if a vision comes from God, you need God to sustain the capacity to actualize that vision.
Yes.
Wow. I love your illustration around the atmosphere, that there will definitely be a kind of atmosphere that bets the vision that you have with you right now. That is, no vision comes without a kind of positioning with God. That kind of position that you maintained that led to the betting of that vision, you must maintain that posture.
Yes, sir.
If the vision will find expression. And then you're also saying that a man who has received a vision, probably in the presence of God, must stay in the presence of God to give expression to the vision. And honestly, you need to hold this. If at all possible, write it down. Put it somewhere. You can't scam God. So that means that we can't run to God to quickly collect one vision and then use it to pepper your Facebook friends and say, this is what I'm going to do this year. And then you are intimidating everybody. And then you are not just able to give expression or to bet the vision that God has given to you. You need God. So don't go around meetings, spiritual environment that can help push out what the Lord has in store for you. And then after receiving such, you step out of such environment to now want to run with the vision. The vision will die a natural death.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Apostle. To ask again, that what does it necessarily mean to move with intensity as a believer? For instance, in ministry, in our businesses and all of that.
Okay, it also depends on the angle we are looking at it from. Let me try and illustrate this to a woman in delivery, the labor room. When labor casts that woman, there is a level of pain she's going through, but no matter the pain, the midwifery will say push. So you have to ignore whatever pain you have and pay attention to pushing, and that pushing has to be consistent until the baby is out. The moment the head of that child is out, if you shut back, you will deform the shape of that child,
or even kill the child. Yeah.
So you need to sustain the same intensity until delivery happens.
Wow.
That is when you can say, oh, glory to God. And for us in ministry, the intensity with which we start is just like the instruction God is giving the Levites, that the fire on the altar must not be put out. It has to be burning in it. Apart from the vision and those things God has given to you, there are things that power it, and the first thing is hunger. Not even prayer, because it requires hunger to even pray. To study the word. Studying the word without hunger, or prayer without hunger, is just like doing like every other exercise. So there is a drive within. That intensity, the intensity of hunger, we have to continually checkmate your hunger. Ensure the hunger of today is not, worse than yesterday, or yesterday better than today. We have to sustain that hunger. That the level of hunger we sustain can be synonymous to the level of intensity we've acquired. So we also transfer the same hunger to the delivery of our assignment. And the hunger is like a channel through which the Spirit can communicate the burden in your hearts to the people. So we also have to sustain the intensity of that hunger in our delivery, so that the very thing God have in mind is communicated to the generation we are sent to. So sustaining that hunger can also be equated to intensity.
Wow, what a wonderful response that is. More grace, emoji. Because I can feel the fire already. Wow. All right. That's a great one. Can you just take a moment and just internalize that? Internalize that. That is the vision you are not really passionate about. You can't in any way drive to realization. It can't in any way be bettered. So that means that to your vision, you must add passion. And that passion is sustained by hunger. So nothing meaningful is bettered, even though you have seen it. in the dream, in the third heavens. Without hunger, vision dies a natural death. Without passion, vision dies a natural death. So, this is to you and I, that if indeed you have a vision to actualize this year, whether in ministry, in your businesses, in your place of work, and whatever, you need to revive the hunger. And for your hunger to be revived, you must not forget where you are coming from. For the hunger to be perpetual, then the posture you maintain at the point of reception of the vision must also be a perpetual posture. You get hungry not just by leaving food. If you have not eaten since morning, let's assume for like 6-7 hours, or from morning till around 6 p.m. you have not taken anything, it is expected that, oh, you should be hungry. But that is not the reason why you are hungry. You are simply hungry because you are used to eating food.
Yes, sir.
So a man is not hungry because he has not eaten. A man is hungry because he's used to eating. And then a little disconnection from food is what we call hunger.
Yes, sir.
So indeed, how you nurture your hunger is by feeding well. That's how you nurture your hunger.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shepherd.
Thank you, sir.
We want to look at the necessity for intensity. You have touched it, that there is no how we can bet anything meaningful, without intensity.
At all.
You understand? So let's look at it on a broader level in fulfilling our visions.
Okay, vision, purpose, ministry, all of them goes hands in hands. You touch something, man of God, and it is that the intensity with which you receive has to actually be sustained. If you're going to actualize the vision, the passion, the commitment you put in place while you were receiving the vision, it is important you sustain that same commitment while actualizing the vision. Okay, when it comes to vision, purpose, depending on whatever stage you are, because there are some, the stage they are just receiving it, they have not even started anything. There are some that have started something, but they find out that it's not working. Should I quit, or probably look for something else, or probably it's not my way? And there are some that are actually doing fine. They are trusting God for advancement. They are trusting God for better delivery. Okay, whatever stage you might be, number one still boils down to know how you receive it. Then number two, define the vision. Give it a clear terms. What exactly is the vision? No gambling, no assumption. There is no assumption that I'm just going to impart people.
Yes.
What area? What exactly? You have to be very, very specific.
Wow.
That when you see what is similar to your vision, you can point out, oh, this is similar. And when you see someone doing something that is not exactly but resembles it, you can equally tell. So you must know exactly, specifically, what is the vision given to you. Then number two, you must know what you need to fulfill that vision. What exactly do you need at this stage of your life? So if you need to invest more in knowledge, if you need to invest more in finance, I need finance now to power the vision that I already have.
Yes,
or you need human resources. You need to invest more in relationship. You need to invest more in getting gifted men, talented men. It is difficult to fulfill whatever you call vision outside men. There are a lot of people today, in attempt to say, I don't want to lose it, I don't want to lose it. There is no relationship. They are not connected to anyone. They believe, people will pull me down, this one, that one. You see, it is very, very difficult to do anything on this earth realm without people.
Wow.
No matter the vision you have, either ministry, business, or whatever, you will need to relate with people. You will need good relationship with people to have it done. So you need to sustain intensity of character with people, so we can predict you. If people are working with you, they can't predict what you may come up with. It's difficult to work with such people. In your absence, things are getting done, and they can't predict if you will like it. What you like yesterday is not what you like today. So there has to be intensity of character.
Wow.
In sustaining your vision. You must sustain good character. You must sustain love, passion, love for people. Don't just love vision, love people, because it will require people to help you fulfill that same vision. God gave vision to Moses, but it takes a lot of people around him to have that fulfilled. So if he has no quality work with people, quality character with people, that even God has to testify that when it comes to character and Moses, I can beat my chest on him. And that is very, very important. We have to sustain character with people, very important. Love for people, passion for the assignment, staying focused is another thing I will talk about. We have to stay focused, because many a times, because of what we see people do around us, it's easier to waver. You have to stay focused. We have to talk about intensity of focus, sustaining intensity of focus. You are focused not just for a short time, but consistently.
Wow.
Even when you are trending, so to say, that's the word now. On the word. If you are not careful, you will be forced to do what is trending and not really the assignment given to you. So you have to be focused.
Wow.
On the very assignment. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Awesome. This is powerful. You know, from your response, you don't bet vision for yourself. Any man of vision must be people conscious. And then if you are conscious of the people, that okay, you have a vision, and the vision is something that must be expressed so that people around you will be blessed. Then we need relational skill to deal with people, because honestly, if we have vision that is going to impact directly on people and we don't have love for people, and apart from that we don't also have the skill to deal and relate with people, then the vision is for us, and that vision will die a natural death.
Yes.
So intensity is necessary in this sense to fine-tune our character.
Yes.
To fine-tune our relational skill and ability. Because honestly, if there is supply of fire for the actualization of your vision, the fire is coming first to burn you, to refine you, and to take away dross, to take away every unnecessary element that will kill that vision. Before the impact of that fire flows to other people who are recipients of the grace of God upon you, of what you are selling. Like, of course, if you are not a minister, you understand. If you are selling anything, there are people you will be dealing with as customers. But there is a way people can come around you to deal with you in business, and then they just feel so relaxed. They feel so happy because they are satisfied. We call it customer satisfaction.
Yes.
They are satisfied with what you are offering, not just because of the value of the goods you are selling to them, but because of the beauty that you are expressing through your character and your disposition with them. Only intensity can bring about this kind of results, because naturally humans are egoistic in nature. Naturally humans are selfish, and because of this selfish nature, most times we love to deceive people. Even though you know that that product is not up to that amount, you add something to it just to take advantage of people. And of course, it is very easy for your customers to dictate that. It's simple, it's very easy. They can see it all over you that you are doing something wrong. And then what you do at the end of the day is to shut down, the glorious plans and the vision that the Lord, has put in your heart for your generation. Thank you so much again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So we are going to go into the next thing. I know that the audience might be asking that, okay, thank you for this. We know now that intensity is necessary, that without intensity we can't sustain the necessary character and the necessary ability to push our vision to reality. But then, what exactly can I do to sustain a level of intensity? that will help in the betting of my vision, of my purpose on earth. What are the practical steps? I know you mentioned one of them during this conversation, that one should stay among like-minded people, that is, burning individual. That is how to be warm. Sometimes the fire in you might actually be going down. But by the time you appear among burning people, you are also set up. I want us to expatiate more on this. What are the practical steps? What are the things that a man can give himself to that will lead to obvious burning and intensity? Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, man of God. Yeah. I must say, sincerely, I'm so blessed. Okay, that's amazing. It's important that kind of question comes up. Yeah. So we actually know specific things to lay hands on, specific things to begin to do. It's more of doing, not just hearing now. Yeah. And I'm sure you do when you hear this. Okay, number one, build yourself. Wow. You need to pay attention to self-growth.
Personal development. Wow.
You need to be more intentional. I want to say something that there are many of us now that can't actually explain who you are. The question of who are you can only answer based on what you know about yourself now, your personal revelation about yourself. The way you will explain who you are now is not the way you will do 10 years ago. What has happened is growth. So it also means that if they ask you that question the next 10 years, what your best answer is now may not be your answer then.
Wow.
But there is a way to bring 10 years time to the present.
Wow. Wow.
That is growth.
Wow.
So the growth that will have taken time to get done, you can compress that 10 years via intentional, consistent commitment to what makes growth. So Paul told Timothy, he said, study to show yourself. There is something in you that needs to be revealed to your world, but you will need to study for that yourself to be shown to your world. To show yourself approved both to God and to your generation. So the first thing is to commit to studying. Bishop Oyedepo said, if you are not building a library, you are building a mortuary. He said every time you buy a clothes, you are clothing your body. Every time you buy a dress, you are clothing your body. But every time you buy a book, you are clothing your destiny. So be committed to reading. Very intentional, number one. Number two, stay connected to God through prayers. There are still things you will not be able to capture by just reading, that it will have to come directly. Someone said there are things that are taught, there are other things that are caught. So those ones that are caught, you will have to stay, connected to God through prayers to catch certain things. There are things that will come directly from the secret place through prayer. So be committed to praying. Number three things I will say is that find a mentor around your area of vision, your calling. Someone who is doing well in that area. God has called you to do something. That area of your vision, that area of your purpose, that area of your assignment. Find someone who is doing well in that area and submit. Submit to that fellow. Be trained. Be trained. Virtually everyone we see in scripture that are impactful are in one time or the other submitted to leadership. Even Moses, who was hearing God, who saw God face to face, Jethro still come to him and say, this one do. Wow. He said, you will kill yourself with this administrative system you set in place. God didn't tell him that one. Jethro has to come and put him through. And when Jethro put him through, God did not come back and say, don't do what Jethro said. God approved it. And when we check through the life of the Israelites, it became a system in the administration that even after Moses, a whole lot of them began to practice it. They began to delegate. They have people who are doing this, who are doing that, and all of that. So that was given to Moses by a mentor. And check through scripture, everyone in in one time or the other has someone who have a word over them, oversight over them. So submit to mentorship. Don't use your life as an experiment. The next 10 years can either be an experiment on how to make it work, how to not make it work. That can actually be gotten through instruction from a mentor. Don't do it this way. Do it this way. And you have rescued yourself from another 2 years of experimenting that vision. So someone has sold this idea to you by just guiding you and putting you in place. Number 4 thing I will say is that which I said the other time. Position yourself among men that can checkmate you. Apart from mentorship now, you need a cycle of friends that can tell how you started. Like-minded people. These ones, they are not friends that pull you down. They are friends that steers you up.
They are not intimidated by your success.
You are not intimidated by your success. So they knew you started together. You are doing fine together. So the advice goes a long way. You use their fire to checkmate your fire as well.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important you have such people around you. You know, conversation of 5-10 minutes, you are steered. Something awakening inside of you that, you awake back to responsibility. So connect yourself, surround yourself with a caliber of friends that are like-minded people, passionate people, and all of that. Number 5 is take steps. Many a times we have read a lot of books, we have received a whole lot of instructions, but we are still afraid of doing something.
Wow.
There are things. Life is a risk. That vision will be fulfilled by taking risk.
Wow.
You took risk to say you have the vision.
Wow.
You took risk to be where you are now. And if you are going to further, you need more risk. So you've got to take more risk. Those instructions you have received, those counsels, those things you have read, internalize them and take a proactive steps. You just have to. So you don't do something by just learning it, you do it by doing it. Yeah. A lot of people have learned so many things, but doing nothing about it.
Wow.
Just doing nothing. They are afraid of taking that step. Let me close it up by saying, a lot of people, God has said many things, but they find out that God has now become silent. God is not saying anything again. So they assume because God is not saying anything, it's probably so that they don't do anything. That okay. Yeah. You are not aware that until you obey the last instruction, you may not receive the next. So someone who has been with Jesus for 30 years, who was privileged to be a part of his growth of his growth system from birth, Mary by name, they came to him and said, we need wine. Wow. He said, okay, if what you need is wine, I know how you can get wine. So he told them to go to Jesus, and he didn't say they should collect check. He didn't say they should collect money, because many people thought what they need now is money. Yes. And when they came to Jesus, Jesus didn't tell Judas, who was carrying purse, and say, please give them 500k there, let them get wine from that, the nearest shop. No. So Mary gave them an instruction. He said, whatsoever he saith to you, what he will do is to say, but your own responsibility is to do. So he said, whatever he said to you, don't hear it, carry it around and put it on big ball and just celebrating that he has said something. Do it. Do it. So I will also say that in fulfilling that vision, do what he had said. Take action. What instructions you have received from mentors, counsels you have received, things you have read, things you have caught, it is time to put them into action. So go ahead and do something.
Awesome. This is too much. I mean, if you can follow all of this, you will never remain the same. Actually. Thank you so much, God.
Thank you, sir.
This is powerful.